What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Target MMA. I'm your host, Rob. I'm here to give you my best bets for UFC Baku. Rafael Fiziev taking on Manuel Torres. Let's get into this breakdown. First up on my best bets, we have the strong favorites. We have a couple of wide tags here, minus 520, minus 550, but they're favorites for a reason. They should dominate here. Now, first up, we have Nursultan Ruziboev. Minus 230 on the money line. He's a pretty good favorite. I mean, that's actually cheap for what I anticipate him to be. Because he's going against Andre Pulev, who's not that great of a fighter. I mean, the man is 10-4. He's fairly durable. He has a lot of finishes in his own right. 6 TKOs, 2 submissions. He's an okay fighter. I mean, his best win is against Nick Klein. I mean, a 6-3 fighter who gets knocked out. What are we talking about? You know? And then on his Dana White's Contender Series, he had a decision win. Like, he's not like... He's beating a lot of cans, is what I'm saying. Now he's going against Nursultan Ruziboev, who is a finisher. 36 wins, 9 losses, 13 TKOs, 20 submissions. Now, his TKO is plus 175, but his submission's plus 900. He has more subs than he has TKOs. And we've seen Andre in his last fight, although Atsubo was a little too patient because I bet first round knockout, you bet first round knockout. That's what Atsubo does. Then he goes to a decision. We lose our bets. No problem, right? But regardless, I don't think it's going to go to a decision, so the points plus 250 is probably out the window. I know the under-over is a 1.5 line, but it's hard to say. It is hard to say because there is a world that Andre survives, whatever. But I am leaning towards round 1 submission because if you look through Nursultan's fight history in his professional career, he has a lot of round 1 subs. A few round 2s. Don't get me wrong, a few round 2s. But I'm leaning towards that first round. Move that up a little bit. Yeah. But the value is the money line, honestly. But if you want to splash a round 1 sub, it's plus 2,000. I saw round 2 was 2,500. Round 3 was 3,500. You could take TKO. I think... Realistically, what I'm seeing from this fight is that Nursultan drops him and then he snatches his neck or he snatches an armbar. We've seen him win by armbar consistently. Next, we have Daniil Donchenko. Now, let me pull up his stats. 13 TKOs. 13 wins, 2 losses. 8 of those 13 are by TKO. He's going against Theodore Berggren, who is he's a UFC debut. And this guy has been finished before, but he's been finished by sub. He hasn't been knocked out yet in his 11 fights. Now, I can see Daniil getting the elbows going, you know. But it's hard to say. This guy's never been knocked out. But again, He's never fought a Daniil Donchenko. Minus 520 on the money line. It's a little bit wide. He should dominate this fight. Minus 140 for his TKO. It's hard to say because I know a lot of you are taking round 1 TKO. But why? Why? Ask yourself why. If you're going back to his where is this? UFC debut against Rodrigo Cezinado. He never been knocked out before, which is a good sign. You know, Daniil got that power to make people get their first knockout losses. But other than that, how many first round knockouts does he have? He has a few fights ago, he has round 1. Then a few fights after that, round 1. A few fights, 1, 2, like 5, 6. He doesn't have many first round knockouts. Let's count it. 1, 2, 3 first round knockouts. Am I counting this right? Am I looking at this? Can I math today? Yeah, 3 first-round knockouts out of his 8 knockouts. And you're betting first-round knockout? The under-over is 1.5. Now, he has a submission game. And that's where his opponent, Theodore, has been submitted before. He has. And Danchenko has 2 submissions under his belt. And I can see him dropping, again, same with the Nuzzleton. If you had this guy by knockout and he clips this guy, drops him, snatches the neck, you'll be mighty upset. I would be too. The under plus 100 looks appealing, but Danchenko's not a first round finisher. He's truly not. Like, okay, other than the 3 TKOs. Boom, 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 boom. He got 1 submission win round 1. So 4 out of his 13 wins are by first round finish. You like those odds? I don't. I would not touch the under over here because obviously he's powerful enough. He'll get those elbows going, close the distance, and put you out. But what if this guy is durable? Are you willing to bet money on that? I'm not. I will take by TKO. Straight up. Minus 140. Obviously, money line is the safest, but for the money value and safe, I think a minus 140 is in the wheelhouse over here. Now we have Shara Bullet. He is 16-1. His only loss is coming from MVP, Michael Venom Page. That's not a bad loss. That's a tricky fight. You're expecting to go in there and throw hands, and then this guy's dancing in front of you, snapping in and out, popping his arm from the hip. Like, it's not an easy fight over here. Now, Shara Bullet, he's minus 370 on the money line. He's plus 125 for his TKO, and he got 12 out of 16 by TKO. A lot of them came early career. He doesn't submit anybody. Like, if he gets a submission here, I'm throwing my computer out the window. Points is plus 175. Don't hold me to that, because I swear if he gets a submission and you guys ask me to throw my computer out the window, then you don't get picks. So, because I'll do it. No, joking. Points plus 175. I don't see this going to a decision. Michel Pereira has been gassing out lately. He's a first rounder bust type fighter. We've seen him knocked out first round by Kyle Dawkins. So the under over being 2.5 line, it's pretty good to go under. Minus 110 is tremendous value because I think Shara has the capabilities to knock him out round 1 or 2. You got round 1 plus 380. Round 2 plus 550. That's good value. Now, he went to a decision with Marc-Andre Barriault, but that was a war. If I remember, he got his nose broken. Was it the other way around? Don't remember that fight too well. I was looking at his earlier fights when I was breaking him down. Second round knockout over Arman Petrosian. Third round decision with Mikhail Olajaychuk, who's on this card. Tricoli, round 3. A lot of his first round knockouts that you see, or knockouts, a lot of first round knockouts, are earlier in his career. You know, he fought probably shit cans. Let's look at his very first fight. Yin Kang Bao. 13-11. He knocked out a 13-11 guy. Come on. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know this guy's record. And it's just like, come on, first round stoppage, first round knockout. Yeah. You know, it's easy. So, he is a knockout artist. He is long and rangy. Michel Pereira, he used to be fun. He used to dance around, throw some kicks, do some backflips, kick off the cage. And then he went against Fluffy. Didn't look like himself. He was sluggish. I don't know if that's because of his personal life or just getting older, getting up there in age. Now, his account, he's listed at 32. That's a rough 32. I'm sorry, I don't know if that age is adding up here. But he's looking worn and torn over the years. He's getting knocked out by Kyle Dawkins. That showed me that Kyle Dawkins has tremendous power, but like, this guy hasn't really lost that much. In my time, until 3 losses. Like when you start like betting on the guys, like 3 losses in a row, he gets a split decision over Zachary Reese. He's a first round or bust. First round submission, knockout, or bust. But Shar is just too tricky. He's just too tricky of a fighter. I think he's going to knock him out. I think it's going to happen round 1 or 2. The safest here, with the most value, is probably TKO plus 125. But if you wanted to be safe, if you thought that Michel Pereira had a chance here, the under is live. The under is live as hell. Oh, 2.5? If they gave a 1.5, that's scary. 2.5? It's fairly safe. Now, the last to wrap up the strong favorites section is Abdul Rahman Yakyaev, minus 550 on the money line. Right? Let me pull him up over here. 9-0, 5 submissions, 3 TKOs, 1 decision. He's only been to a decision once. And he's going against Julius Walker, who I don't have a lot of faith in. Now, when I first started hearing about UFC, was I watching when he got on? 2020? Yeah, I was definitely watching when he got on. He made his debut against Alonzo Menifield, and I'm surprised he didn't get knocked out. Alonzo is knocking people out these days. And I remember hearing the hype behind Juicebox, and you're like, oh, this guy is going to be somebody. He's a basketball player, you know, and he fee-fi-fo thumb, moves his way through people. He's 6'4", and he likes to clinch, throw you to the ground. Abdul is not like that. Abdul will run through this guy, I believe. Now, let's look. Plus 125 for submission, plus 200 for TKO. Points is plus 650. So you think it goes the distance. I don't think it goes the distance. That's why I have round 1 sub or TKO. Sub is plus 210. TKO is plus 310. Now I think lightning strikes, you know, for the upteenth time over here, because first round submission, first round submission, first round knockout, first round submission, first round submission. Went to a decision against Nikolai Kovalenko. Got it. We got there. First round TKO, second round submission, first round TKO. I'm leaning towards first round sub, first round TKO. Now, let me look at the under over here, because I should have put that there, unless it just wasn't good enough. Let's see. Over 1.5 is plus 176. Under is minus 230. That's not bad. That's not bad. I would lean the under, obviously, but I can see Walker staying durable. It's rough. I'm leaning TKO. I had to really think about it for a second, because I didn't put. I knew he was going to get the finish. I'm thinking about a sub or TKO, because you would think that the sub is the most likely. Walker might have some good, decent jiu-jitsu. He has 2 losses, 1 by TKO. That was his last one against Dustin Jacoby, which is a good quality knockout loss. The guy has power in his hands. Abdul, I can see some ground and pound from Abdul. I'm going to take him by TKO round 1. That wraps up the strong favorites. Let's go on to our underdog possibility section. Next, for our segments, we have underdog possibilities. We got Beksat Almakhan, Charles Johnson, Eric Nolan, and Manuel Torres. Let's start with Beksat Almakhan. Beksat Almakhan is 12-3 in his professional career, and 10 of those are by TKO. This man is a heavy-handed striker. He has decent takedown defense, and if he is taken down, he works his way back up. Now, the only problem is he's taken on Gene Matsumoto, who's more of a wrestler, who's never been finished. But this guy's been going to decisions. The reason why I'm leaning Bexat is because he's the more, he has more ways to win, as opposed to Gene, who's just become a decision hog in the UFC. He hasn't really finished it. Who has he finished? Right? Decision. He submitted Dan Argueta, which is nice. Decision. Then he had a submission over Marlon Basilio in LFA. So look at Martin. 12-3, that's a pretty decent win. The guy has a good record. Gene's not much of a finisher. We're going with the finishing upside of this dog. He's plus 132 on the money line, plus 360 on points and TKO. I think he knocks him out. I think he's going to be the first one to knock him out. Now, he gets hit quite often. You know, he hasn't been knocked out by whom? Miles Johns, Rob Font. These guys are not finishing anybody. Fareed Bashaw, who got one TKO, right? One TKO out of 15 wins. Come on. Going Bexat on the cards. Now we have Charles Johnson, Inner G, plus 205 money line, plus 900 TKO, plus 370 on the cards. He's going against Asu Amabayev. Asu is 23-3. Impressive record, right? Now, two of those three are by TKO. He has been finished by Manel Kape, and he has been finished by Tagir Ulanbekov, who's his only knockout win. Tagir doesn't finish too many people. So for that to happen, I don't know. Now, Charles Johnson, how do you not bet him as an underdog? He is a little hot and cold, you know, albeit that he sometimes shows up, you know, but he's never been submitted. You're going against a submission ace, but he's never been submitted. 7 decision losses. Yeah, when he's getting wrestled, he's being held down. He's working his way out of it. He's not being submitted. 8 out of 19 by TKO. He's a little bit of a slow starter, albeit. So winning by points is not the most likely. Obviously, take the money line because the money line is the best value and the safest. I like the TKO. I like a late TKO because Charles Johnson works his way through and he's always moving. And I even like him in the DraftKings. In DraftKings Sports. In DraftKings Fantasy, rather. He might be good. I haven't started the DraftKings to give you guys, but I might actually put him in my lineup. You know, he scores a decent amount with his hands. But Asu does have takedown. We'll cross that bridge. Next up, we got Manuel Torres in the main event. He's minus 106. He was plus 100 earlier this week. Plus 145 for TKO, plus 1400 for for points, and plus 1100 for sub. He has submissions on his record. He has 7 from his 17 wins and 9 TKOs. Now, the reason why I'm leaning toward, obviously not points, I don't think this is going the distance, but by TKO, which is great value, is because we just saw Rafael get knocked out badly in his last fight. It doesn't matter about who, it matters about how. Like, this man was wobbled, like, it was bad. Has he recovered since then? Huge question marks. But I like Manuel Torres to get it done. Obviously, TKO is the most likely because Rafael has been knocked out 3 out of his 5 losses. He's never been submitted. Now, Torres doing that, can you imagine? Oh, plus 1100, you let that slip away, being the first one to submit him? Rough kid. Now, last but not least, one of my favorite underdogs, we have Eric Nolan. Eric Nighttime Nolan. He's 8-4 in his professional career. 4 out of 8 are by knockout, 2 submissions. That's why I put submission up here, because what if, right? Now, he's never been knocked out. He's been submitted, but he's been submitted early on, and then he just got submitted by Susakayev, but he has good wrestling defense. If you watch that fight, the reason why Susakayev was able to submit him is because Eric hurt his leg in some transition. Something happened. I think Susakayev was just chewing his leg, and then I guess the nerve gave out, and then he rolled into his own like ankle lock. Whatever. He didn't need to roll into it. Obviously, he was doing well first round. He was stuffing takedowns. He had Susakayev wobbled, but the leg was given out. So he rolled for a submission, got submitted. It is what it is. You know, things like that happen. Are you going to count that as a submission loss? I'm not. Are you going to count the knockout loss for Sugar O'Malley when he went against Cheeto and his leg gave out? No, we're not counting those. We don't count those as like true losses. That's why Cheeto and Sugar ran that back, and he beat the out of him. No contest. Not no contest like no contest, but like there was like, you know. Money line is plus 148. TKO is plus 300. I like that. I like the TKO. He does have submissions on his belt, so again, be mindful that he could snatch something up in transition. Points plus 600. I don't think it's going the distance, unless this new guy likes to lay and pray, which we'll find out soon. Round 1 is 700 plus 700. Round 2 is plus 1100. Now he's taking on Farman Hazanov. This man started fighting professionally 4 years ago. He's beating cans. Who is he beating? Honestly, okay. Let's run down the list. Round 1, doctor stoppage and LFA. 6-1. That's a pretty good guy, right? I'm not putting my foot in my mouth. We're going to go through all these. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you right now. Mark Ari Williams Lewis. So that's a mouthful of name. 3-4. The hell is that? What the hell is even that? Then Luke Roberts, 6-2, decent. Emil Salinov, 0-1. Man, never fought again. Probably got beat that bad. And then Ibrahim Sariyov, 2-1. So out of his 5 wins, one is exhibition, I guess. He has 2 decent fighters. Obviously not decent enough to make the big leagues. I mean, LFA is pretty good, right? But he's unproven. He hasn't fought anybody good to be proven. And Eric Nolan has tremendous power in his hands. He's coming down from welterweight to middleweight. He should look huge. We'll see. I got to look at the weigh-ins. I think he should be bigger. Obviously, he's an inch shorter, but bigger, I mean, mass-wise, like, usually people cutting down are going to be the bigger fighter because they were originally the bigger fighter. That is going to cut down some weight. But that wraps up the underdog possibilities. Let's get into our bullseye. Here we go, guys. My bullseye bet of the night. Just so you know what a bullseye bet is, it's my safe bet. It's my bet that's always plus money, and I think it's going to win 100% of the time. First, we have Manuel Torres on the money line. We have Nuzletin Rozaboev on the money line for a grand total of plus 178. I wanted to give you Torres, but I usually put out my best bets on Thursday or Friday when the props drop, so I can give you a knockout prop, submission prop, so we can do it all at once. I'm not going to give you a plus 100 early in the week like, oh, I locked it in. Sorry. No. So to stay true to the channel, we are going to give you plus money every time. Lock it in. Let me know in the comments if you're tailing. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the recap after we crush this.